Welcome to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, Raila Odinga puzzled the whole world by wearing a military fatigue. That attire has been discussed, and people are asking why Raila decided to don on those military attire. Others are arguing that he might have broken some law, but his supporters maintain that he is within his rights. Information reaching us is that he has been ordered by the Inspector General, together with all the Azimio leaders and the supporters, to surrender those military fatigue or else. You can imagine what that means, because someone somewhere is playing with fire, and very soon someone somewhere will get into hot soup.
Papa, you must hit all these rallies in the country, then come back to Nairobi. And by the time you come back to Nairobi, Ruto will sit down and listen to what you are saying, because you'll be telling him, leave State House. This is what I'm trying to tell you. People are not getting it. And one, look at it this way. Look at the Raila you are seeing. This is not the Raila Ruto is used to. This is a different Raila. Raila has had a war with himself, a war of image, to be accepted by the West that feared him. Even the business community, not this Nairobi business community where I belong, but the really business guys in this country, they feared Raila. So he was trying to create the image of an acceptable person. And that has cost him, because in the process he has lost his core supporters. If you notice in these two rallies, now the third rally,
is Raila now.
This is a new Raila. That's the really Raila people knew in the 90s and 80s. That's the real Raila now. So Ruto is dealing with the real Raila, not the camouflage Raila with a suit. Soon, I will not even be surprised to find Raila in a military fatigue in one of these rallies. The real Raila I know. And that's the Raila you have seen. You've noticed something else. In the past 10 years or so, Raila had abandoned his troops. Yeah. You saw them yesterday, the Gauchos, People's President, whatever they call themselves, Ghetto President, Bunge la Wananchi. Yeah. They were given an opportunity.
He gave them the mic.
Those are bad boys, because me, I know them. I talk to them, I know. These are people who have nothing to lose. And those are the real soldiers. In the process of trying to change his image, Raila distanced himself from those people. Yeah. Now he has brought them back on board. And the language Raila is using.
But why do you think Raila decided to don on this attire? Because the videos were flying a few hours before the declaration of the countrywide mass action. I want us to look at the reason, the puzzle behind the attire and what it means and what it portends to Raila supporters. Number one, yesterday, just a few hours before Raila made the biggest announcement, that big announcement, these photos that you see here had been flying around, and Raila was trying to set the mood of the day, because he had given the government a 14-day ultimatum to meet certain conditions, without which he had no any other choice but to declare the country Maandamanos. And there were several media groups that were asking that the way and the manner in which he was carrying himself, it seemed he wanted to chicken out. It seemed he wanted to abandon this course. And Raila decided to give a coded message that, hi guys, here I am in the military gear, very ready, mindset, physically, politically, and everything that surrounds it. And that is the reason, because immediately those pictures started flying in the social media, the Azimio supporters were over the moon with joy. They said, wow, this is the Baba we knew. This is the real enigma of politics. Those who are supporting Kenya Kwanza started crying foul huyu mzee, why is he doing this and why is he? So it was to set the mood, and if you ask me, it worked well because people were now waiting. And I believe in State House, some people sat down and started looking at what is he going to say. So it was to set the country in the right mood. Number two, this was a sign and a symptom of defiance. Some few weeks ago, when Raila supporters, especially those the Jeshi la Baba, donned on those military attire, Kithure Kindiki, who is the interior minister, banned those attire and said that anyone who would be found in possession or wearing those attire would be dealt with, would be arrested. And I remember asking in this channel, you are threatening people like Nuru Okanga. What about the day when Raila and people like Kalonzo will come out and don those military attire? What will you do to them? And yesterday, Raila put those attire together with people like Eugene Omalwa. So Raila was telling the administration, you had threatened to arrest me. Here I am today, donned in the same military attire that you had banned. Come and arrest me. You know, the war between Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto is one of a supremacy battle. Who is who in the Kenyan politics? But I will submit to you that Ruto is still a featherweight when you compare him to Raila Odinga. He's still learning from the footsteps of Raila Odinga. Raila's strategy are beyond William Ruto. Raila knows what William Ruto is about to do before he executes them. So he was daring the government. It was a sign of defiance. He was also in this military attire to show that he is a general. You see, whatever is happening, whatever the undertaking that Raila Odinga has decided to do is a political battle. They are basically going for a political war, something that he has done before. In the second liberation, when they were fighting the one-party state, the Kanu regime, Chama cha Baba na Mama, where whatever Moi said was alpha and omega and it was final, you could not breach the directives. And he has been detained for years. I understand that cumulatively 9 good years being detained. So Raila is not afraid, and he has continued to remind them that you can do whatever you want. Because when he compares the constitution that we had during the Nyayo era, when he considers the political space that was there during that time and what is happening today, he laughs at them because he knows what they went through during those days. Today, Kenyans are much smarter. There is the presence of the social media. We have a new constitution, and he knows very well that whatever this administration is trying, they will never succeed. So he was showing them that I'm a general leading over 8 million people behind me who wants me to take them to the promised land, because I reminded you that there are people who voted for Raila Odinga. Now that he's not in power, Raila wants them to get a fair share of the cake because they also pay taxes, and Raila has always maintained that equitable distribution of resources is non-negotiable. Otherwise, we should also start negotiating on how to pay taxes, because the other day, very ridiculously, our deputy president mentioned that the government is a company, and those who voted for them are the ones who have got shares, and so they've got every right to enjoy the national cake. Something that Raila says that it's not possible, and it constitutes one of the reasons why he has decided to declare the Maandamanos Ruto must go. He was also showing the whole world, and please, I will mention for the last time maybe, America, Britain, the EU, the AU, all those who connived together to rob him of his victory. And of course, our deputy president, who has always said that these Maandamanos will lead Raila to nowhere. So he was trying to give a manifestation of the seriousness of the business that he's undertaking. Because sometimes they've always said they have trivialized whatever he's doing as something to hoodwink and twist the government so that he can get into a handshake, something that he has refuted, saying that he has no time for any handshake. And his people are very ready. So he was trying to show them that whatever I'm doing is a serious business. I'm not here for jokes. And that is the reason why Raila was donned in those military attire. So moving forward, you will see there's a new leader just changing this military gear from one color to the other, because he wants to see what the administration can do. And it also shows the readiness of the mind. You see, the reason why even the military guys wear these uniforms, it also affects your mentality. When you're in those military gear, you feel it. You feel that you're going for a battle, you're going for war. And even when the supporters see you, donning them, they feel and they're in the mood. And so from what happened even today, you can see that it is working. Raila Odinga is setting a trap for Kithure Kindiki, the Inspector General, and William Ruto himself. And they will be getting into this trap without knowing. So ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, even if you don't like Raila, those photos were just amazing. Raila looked just wonderful in those military gear. But I want to say this. The seriousness of this mass action must not be underestimated, because Raila Odinga is touching on pertinent issues that affect the common man. Whether you support the Kenya Kwanza, whether you support the Azimio, let me tell you that this is high time that we need the cost of living to come down, as William Ruto had promised. We need to get medical facilities, madawa kwa hospitali. We need to cushion hunger and the drought that is ravaging in Rift Valley and everywhere. And so let us try to minimize petty politics, because even as you try to demonize Raila, you go without food. The president that you are praising can afford 3 meals in a day. You are there lamenting about school fees, yet when Raila wants to compel the government to reduce the cost of education, you demonize him. Why don't we be wiser, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can ask the right questions? Because whatever we are doing is beyond petty politics. I don't know what you think, but that is my take.